Hello, my beautiful friends. Julianne here of Julianne Annette Art. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Today's video is going to be my November completed pages, which is going to be the first time in quite a while I've actually managed to have a completed pages just for 1 month. So I'm going to start off with the WIPs, but before we get into that, November was the Novemad Tea Party 2025, and I did not get all the content done that I was hoping to. The second half of November ended up being a little bit busier than I expected. Plus, I did get a little bit burnt out on coloring Alice pages. So I'll have to plan that a little bit better next year. Also, there's the Mad Tea Party Bingo here. And I only put the stickers on for 2 of the coloring pages that I had done. Which I'll show you at the moment. So as I go through, I will actually see if I got any bingos out of it. And yeah, we'll go from there. But as it stands right now, these are from the Kevin Art page and the Amandine Young page that I did, which I will show you. So all the pages that aren't those 2 are what we can qualify on that, but we'll get to that as we go through the pages. We're going to start off with the WIPs, and the first WIP I'm going to show you is in Chill Volume 1, A Winter Coloring Experience, and this is by Itsy Crafty Spider. They're on Instagram, and I've based this page. I've based it entirely with alcohol marker. I did start coming in with some pencil shading. In some spots you can see I did do a little bit of gel pen details in some spots, but there's a lot more that I'd like to do with it. So it's a winter page. I will likely finish it. If not December, I'll finish it in January. I tried to keep it to a relatively limited color palette, so I think I'm actually happy with the palette itself. But you can see I tried to make him like the Mad Hatter, and I was going to make this the Cheshire Cat and the Cheshire Cat here. This is Disney's Art Deco by Hachette Heroes, and I had started basing this Cheshire Cat, and I just based it with Crayola Super Tips, and it looks kind of rough, but that's okay because I was gonna go in with pencil and shade it, but I kind of got stuck with this outer stuff here and wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. So yeah, that's as far as I got. I might plug away at it if I feel like doing something kind of meditative, because I do feel like this is mandala adjacent, but I'm not rushing back to it. Next WIP, we're going to increase again. So, oh, sorry, wrong way. I still haven't figured that out. We had quite a few artists who shared pages with us, and this one was done by Jen Katz, and she created it especially for our Novemad Tea Party hashtag. And so I have started basing it with alcohol marker. Even on November 30th, I was coloring it in the morning, and then I realized there's no way that I'm going to get to finish this page today. So I kind of moved on to another page that I thought I could finish faster, which was the right call. This is another one that I'm probably just going to leave it for December, January, and go back to it in February. My plan is December, I want to do as many Christmas pages as possible. January, I want to do as many winter pages as possible, and maybe a little bit of catch up, but February is my catch up month plan. So I have a few more WIPs. Now these ones I will be working on in December, because they are for a buddy color with Caitlin, and I forget her username on Instagram, but I will share it here. So these are from Coco Wyo Color Your Aesthetic, and I had just gotten the Ohuhu skin tone markers, and so I wanted to play with them a little bit. So I did all of these as only Ohuhu skin tones. So this fella, I'm super happy with how it looks so far, and I'm really excited to carry on with them. Again, like I haven't done the blending very well with the Ohuhu skin, or like Ohuhu markers, period, or alcohol markers. Ohuhus are new to me. Before I only had kind of cheap ones, but like I'm really happy with the blends and the skin tone that I've gotten here, so that's pretty cool. And this one, so all three of them are buddies with her. One of them is with a third person, but I don't remember which one, and it might be this one, but and I don't remember who it is. If I remember, I will put her name up in there as well. But so they're basically they're all due by the end of 2025, so I'll probably go into it hard at the beginning of this month. Today is December 2nd as I am filming this, and yesterday was a kind of off day, so I didn't get anything done yesterday, but I want to finish this because these are the only like buddy colors where people are counting on me, so I really want to focus on getting them done before the end of the month, so that I can just have them off my plate. I have a plan for how, I mean, his clothing, the details, I don't know, but that fills in easy enough. I have a plan again, like for her clothing and hair, the details, whatever they'll fill in. Her, I have a little bit less of a plan, although I do have, I think, a bit of an idea. So yeah, we'll just see how it all goes. That other whip I didn't do in November, nor will I finish in December. So those ones are like I said, ones that I'm going to get to right away in December. And let me just set these aside. So the next whip I have is in Sweet and Simple Whimsy Girls by Hannah Lynn. I have the pocket version. And I actually, this is the whip I had started, and I really like the colors that I chose. But then my nieces came for, we went to go see Wicked on opening weekend. And that was a lot of fun, and it was awesome. So we wanted to do a buddy color in these pages, and I wasn't sure if we were going to do one like for the Wicked theme or for Alice theme. Originally, I wanted to do Alice, but then because we were seeing Wicked, I thought maybe she'd want to do the Oz theme. But she chose Wicked. So the niece chose to do this page, and she started doing such a great job, and I'm like, well, I want to do that page. So then I abandoned my Mad Hatter and I did this one, and I did it with alcohol marker, obviously, but the cheap ones, like just my coal parts, and a little bit of, I think it's actually all gel pen. I think it's the Jelly Roll Moonlight pens, and this I had based in like a blue gray, but then I took the Jelly Roll blue pens and kind of like did the streaks to make it a little bit more blue, a little bit less gray. So yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with it. The ink in this one is very faded black, so I did go over the black parts with the black Ohuhu just to really deepen the black, and I went over her eyelashes with some Jelly Roll glaze pen. I apparently have 2 of them, which is good because they are like gold because they're discontinued. So yeah, I went over her eyelashes, eyeliner with a black glaze pen, and then I went, I did a little bit of shading on her skin with Prismacolors. There's some marks that you can see. That's the texture of the paper that left these lines. I was going to shape in a nose, and then I thought, no, this isn't looking right. And I just left it kind of fuzzy, and I don't mind it that way. So, yeah, I'm happy with it. If I had more time, this is the page that I ended up doing like on November 30th to just have done by the end of the day. So if I had had more time, I might have done a nicer job on her skin, but I didn't, and I'm not upset about it. So I'm going to show you. This is the page that the niece did. I'm going to zoom other way here. So she, as you can see, just went really like pinks and reds, wrote the Queen of Hearts on the top and bottom, and then off with their heads on the sides. I think she did a fabulous job. It's really, really fun to see her creativity. Like she turned 10 in September, and seeing like what she did like last summer with the Buddy Colors and then what she's doing now with the Buddy Colors it's really cool to see, because she used to get tired out. This time she did 2 pages. So that's really cool. And so my mother-in-law chose to do that Alice Herself page. And so this is hers. I love how she went with just the different tones for the blonde hair. And then the bluish green combo for the dress. Cassidy is the niece. Her and I test our markers before we go in. My mother-in-law doesn't. She just goes in. So you see the skin tone here was running out, but she doesn't have the patience for checking them. So this is my page, Cassie's page, and my mother-in-law's page. And then Cassie, because she was done and she had so much fun with it, decided to do the Cheshire Cat as well. And I think she did a really cool job with that. She did little sparkles on the dress. Wrote "We're all mad here." The hurrier I go, the behinder I get. So I think that's really cool. And then the 5-year-old niece, this is in my stack of papers that were to come down to show you guys. So I'm pretty sure my 5-year-old niece did this one. And perhaps it's the Cheshire Cat with the big smile, maybe? I'm not. But it's a lovely drawing that she did. And then also, this was in the stack, so I'm going to show you guys. The 10-year-old niece, she drew this before we were going to see the movie. And she drew Glinda, and I think this is pretty amazing drawing because she's 10, and how fabulous is that? I think she struggled a little bit with the face. She knew to draw in the lines, but she just couldn't quite figure out the placement, so she just left it at that. But like, yeah, how awesome is that? So good job, Cassidy, and thank you, Cassie and Kathy, for coloring with me. And so that's also an untouched book. So the actual first page that I colored in November was from Cozy Japan by Jade Summer, and this was for a group buddy on Instagram where we work through this book, and I did this page. This is my first page in the book, so that's fun. It's an untouched book for me. It's all Ohuhu alcohol markers, and I was inspired with this kind of like 70s color palette, and like the little stripes on the bowl made me think of this kind of groovy stripes, and so I added this in. It's a little sloppy with my black lines, but whatever, I don't care. I didn't want to go in heavy with the shading. I felt like it just kind of suited the simple shading, so I'm quite happy with it. And I like the color palette. Is very out of my wheelhouse. I like how the little salmon pieces look. I learned that this is called a Naruto, which is fun. And you may notice that I am wearing a different sweater and have more alcohol markers on my hands than I did when I first started the video. And that is because, as I was filming, my mom called and I forgot that I was supposed to talk to her on the phone. And so then I sit with the headphones and I color while I'm on the phone with her. And I am incapable of taking lids off and putting them back on alcohol markers without getting marker all over my fingers. So now my fingers are stained, and I ate peanut butter toast for my lunch, and I got peanut butter on my sleeve, so I had to change my shirt too, because I am apparently a messy eater. I'm going to show you, actually, before we carry on with the completed pages, I'm going to show you one more WIP that I had forgotten about because I've been working on it in my room, kind of in bed. And it's from Goddesses and Witches by, I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it like, I want to say Jine Bry, but it might be like Jinbri or something. I have no idea. Anyway, this book is really, really gorgeous. And we're, there's a group that I'm in, and we're doing a page a month. And so this page is Celine, and it's, I think, due like very early December, like the 7th maybe. And so I am actually going to carry this one on pretty quickly. It's interesting seeing it in bright light though, because I work on it in my room with a low lamp, so I had no idea how these flowers and all this stuff looked, but I'm happy with her. I just basically have to do her dress and skin and the owl's the thing I'm most afraid of, and then add some paint things. So I'll finish that up pretty quick in the next few days as well. And then back to our completed pages. So I have, I'm going to zoom you out a little bit here. So, as I said earlier about it being the Novmad Tea Party, and so some artists shared their work with us. And so this one is by Amandine Young, and obviously it's the Cheshire Cat. Here it says "Ce chat est fou," which I think is "the cat is mad." And so I actually really love how this turned out. I didn't want to color a whole background, and so I felt like doing this kind of dotty sky just works with the really sketchy lines that she has. This is my first of her work. Definitely not the last, because I really enjoyed it. But I've had her, almost all of her PDF books for quite a while, and I am scared. I've been scared to actually work in it because I don't know how to color her work, but I think this turned out really cute. It's just Ohuhu alcohol marker and some white gel pen, and I think, and the little gold inside these funny stars is Uniball Gold Signo. And I had decided that I put the little bit of yellow. I have the Colpart paint markers that I have. They're really transparent, and so they're pretty useless except for things like this to just give that sheer tint. And so I like that. But anyway, yeah, I'm quite happy with the page. I really love the markers. I really love these colors from the Ohuhu set. Like in the cheap sets, you don't get these more muted colors. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So that is Ce chat est fou, and that is, like I said, I had already marked off the prompts from the bingo board for that one. And then I also did this by Kevin Teo Art. He shared this with us. And again with the Ohuhus, all of my the shading and color blending is just with the Ohuhus. So I'm super happy. Like, I love how the gold turned out. I am pretty happy with her hair, her dress. I find a lot of times with grayscale things that it's hard to have the gray not come through. Like, you really have to go in with enough depth of color. And so I'm quite happy with how I covered the grayscale. also, I love how the card looks, and that was because I had put on too dark of a gray, and then I went back in with the blender to try to remove some of it, but it ended up making it, I quite like how it turned out. And then there's just some white paint pen, and I don't think there's white paint pen or gel pen, maybe a little of each. And I think I did put a little bit of paint marker because I had ended up doing this flower too dark. And so yeah, I'm again quite happy with how it turned out. I think it's really cute. So that's the other one that I had done the prompts with, and so I think I only have one. Oh, I had shown you guys the Queen of Hearts, but we're actually going to see what she has. So basically, hearts we already have. So we do have the Queen now. We're just going to do a little wasting a Prismacolor on that. So we got the Queen. Don't think we got anything else on this page. Playing cards we already had. And we already had hearts, so didn't get a whole lot from that one. But we'll see what else we get. So next, I sometimes get burned out when I am supposed to only do one thing. And so I worked in this Coloriage Mystère, the Dolce Vita. So it's all Italian pages. And I had done this one. I just basically put I put 1 through 40 in a random number generator and just did whatever it gave me. So that was fun. I think it's almost all the Guangna markers, and then I used one of these was that? No, it might not have. I think it is all the Guangna. So you can see, like, I did 2 coats of the yellow. You can still see the lines through it, but I don't care that much. I do like to put the second coat on to get it less streaky, but I didn't really care that much about making it all super opaque. But yeah, I think it's cool. I really find these are just like a fun, relaxing thing to do. And the other one that I ended up doing, and I was only going to mark down my pages. I just want to say this, I don't think has an actual author, but it is the Dessin and Tolra publishing. But I don't know who the illustrations are. Oh yeah, provided by Shutterstock. Don't love that, but I do like the style of the illustrations, so I don't mind it. Anyway, so then I have the Disney Princesses Volume 2, Coloriage Mystère, and I was only gonna do this. I was only gonna write down the markers, and then I was gonna leave it for December to do, but then I started, and it was so much fun. I did not know. I bought this book because I saw Jess show it on her channel as one of her favorites. And I really liked it. I like the ones where they're in scenes. I don't want to just have their face in a plain background. I like the whole scene. And I had no idea I would get so much joy from coloring a Disney princess. I want so many more books now because, like, I didn't realize that it would actually be such a joyful experience to color it. And I did add a little bit of the Sakura Jelly Roll, the clear glittery, I don't know what it's called, but the clear glittery pen over the pattern on her dress and on her earrings. I don't know how much you guys can see it, but I just thought it would be a fun little sparkly addition. And I did try to do like a little bit of blending between the two colors to smooth the transition between the body, particularly on her dress anyway, and I think on her headband here. I tried to on her eyes. I think it ended up being only the light color, but I find it really hard to get in the finicky areas, so I'm happy with what I can get out of it. I think on her skin I tried to blend it together a little bit too. But yeah, it was so peaceful and relaxing and enjoyable to work on this page. Like, I really appreciate the color by numbers because I just have a little basket, fill it up with my paint markers that I'm using for it, and then I can just kind of zone out and color, and I appreciate that. But the difference, this page versus the other page, knowing that I was coloring a Disney princess, it was like, oh, so much joy. I had no concept that it would be so joyful. So like I said, I'm gonna have to get some more of these books with scenes in particular, not the ones that are just faces and plain backgrounds, but there's the one Mickey one that I really want. Not the one that's got the Fantasia on the front, but the one that's just like a plain Mickey on the front. I'd like to get that one because the Fantasia one, again, is like the portraits, and the other one has the scenes, I think. So anyway, this is actually my last completed page, I believe. So this is Southern Lotus Fantasyland, and I actually pretty much done it at the beginning of the month. But it's this like sketchy line effect, like, you know, it's just plain simple art, but this sketchy line effect I've seen a lot on Instagram, so I wanted to give it a try. And so you just doing whatever kind of hatching and try to do your shading with these little sketchy marks. Definitely a learning curve to it, but I'm quite happy with how it turned out. Some parts I like more than other parts. Like, I think the elephant looks really cute. I'm really happy with how the chair looks. I do see a couple spots where I missed some things, like the center part of the bow. These things, I don't even know what they are. I was told these are like thumbprint cookies. But that aside, I'm quite happy with it. And so then I didn't want to just color it like normal, so I tried to go in like really sketchy with only pale colored alcohol markers. And then I used the blender marker to try to kind of fade it out in spots. And I think it kind of has almost like a watery color effect. So I'm pretty happy with it. And we're going to see what other prompts we have here, because we do have the teacup and teapot on here. And I think we've got, well, I'm going to call them red roses. I could have left one blank. Should I call them red roses? Maybe I shouldn't. It wouldn't make a difference because it's not like it's going to give me a, it's not going to give me a bingo, and I don't know if I would call it an eat me cake, but even if I do and pretend there's a little thing, it still wouldn't give me a bingo. So, yeah. Oh, and it's an unbirthday party. So I didn't get nearly as much as I had hoped to do, and I didn't even get a line, but if I'd done a flamingo, I would have gotten a bingo there. Or if I'd left one of those roses white, I could have gotten a bingo there. But, it is what it is. It's fun. I appreciate the bingo because it helps with just giving a little bit of direction to what I wanted to do. Or like in choosing page, because a lot of times I get really stuck with what page to choose. So it's not a lot of pages, but it is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. And that is the best I've had for quite a few months. And then plus like a couple whips that are pretty close to done. So yeah, I feel really good about what I got done for the month. there's no question that my favorite page, though, is this this one. It was just the most pleasurable thing to color and to see her coming to fruition, you know? It was just a lot of fun. It surprised me because I didn't expect it. And at first, when people colored these, when I first started coloring, I was like, it's coloring by number, like, ugh, you know, not quite so judgy sounding, but I did think, like, I don't really see it, you know, I don't think that's for me. And then I did finally get a coloring by number, but it's like a fairy tale one, and it's enjoyable and it's relaxing. And then I liked, I got a couple of this style with these kind of simple poster aesthetic, which I like. But so having colored some color by numbers, I was not prepared for how different it would be coloring something that is such a childhood emotional memory. And I think particularly Cinderella, because when I was little, she was my favorite. So anyway, yappy. That's my takeaway. Oh, I did use some gel pens in this actually to cover up the lines around the white and the light colors, just like all around the snow and on the fur here. Some of them I used the white gel pen, and some of them I used light blue that matched this cloud. So anyway, that's it. Not a lot to show you, but I did really enjoy both of these as well, actually. Like, I think I love how I did her eyes here. I think they look really cool. But overall, I think I enjoyed this page more. I think it's just because the color palette makes me happy. But I had fun with those as well. Anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for sharing your time with me. And let me know in the comments which page did you like. And also, have you colored the coloring by number ones, particularly like these ones? I don't know. Like, do you find a difference between coloring these characters that you knew when you were younger versus just coloring something that's more just like a picture? Like I said, I did not expect to have such a pleasant emotional experience coloring this. So I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on that. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing your time with me. And I will see you guys in the next one. Be kind to yourselves out there. Bye-bye.